Hi everyone, my name is Patrick and currently I'm a solution consultant for ServiceNow. Today I'd like to give you an overview of how enterprise scalable low-code governance can look like with ServiceNow and how it can support your company in its digital transformation. Before we jump into the solution, let's have a look what current challenges companies face regarding app development and governance. Meet Patrick. He is an IT admin and responsible for low-code and hyper-automation governance. As part of the Center of Excellence team, his responsibilities include the following. First, he's responsible to manage access and user rights across his company. Second, he tracks various KPIs around app development and automation and also makes sure that generated value is measurable. Lastly, he supports his colleagues in case they need help and additionally manages collaboration. Unfortunately, Patrick and his team face many challenges, which are costly and make low-code development in their organization inefficient. The first challenge they face is app sprawl. Since users started to create apps without any guardrails, they lost track of all apps and processes and are flooded with support requests. Second, even though some of their low-code and automation solutions shipped with a governance tool, these tools only track one software solution and don't look at the whole end-to-end automation process, which include various different tools. Since there's no way for them to assure quality when citizen developers create apps, those apps don't follow best practices and lack usability. Finally, application lifecycle management is one of Patrick's biggest challenges, since there is currently no way for him to track app development through all stages or versions, and it's also hard to make sure that everything is secure and working as intended. Patrick is looking for a governance solution which is enterprise-ready, scalable, and of course solves all his challenges. He discovers ServiceNow App Engine Management Center, which offers everything he is looking for out of the box. First, let's look at the end-to-end process of enterprise-ready governance, from the ideation phase of a new application submission to the final stage of maintaining it. We start the process with our amazing citizen developer Sarah, who works in accounting and who has a great idea for a new expense application, which she submits on the company's App Idea portal. Patrick and the governance IT team are the first quality gate to make sure that the app idea is not only a good use case for citizen or low-code development, but also decide on which technology to build it with based on the requirements, since other ServiceNow out-of-the-box workflows might already cover all the needs. After Patrick successfully validated Sarah's use case, she gets access to the development instance and is able to start her app idea. In case Sarah needs support, she can directly involve other experts to help her with her complex requirements. Since Sarah already went through various learnings and trainings on the Now Learning platform, she's ready to go without needing any help. She can now build her own low-code application with different user interfaces or channels, and also connect and create data and workflows all from one interface. As soon as she's done with the first version, she can submit her app for review and automated testing. The app now automatically gets transferred into the application repository, which is a central place to manage not only the different versions of an application, but also move it through different instances such as development, testing, and production. Now that the app is ready for review, Patrick examines the app and makes sure that all initial requirements match the design solution. ServiceNow also runs automatic scans in the background to support Patrick in identifying potential risks. The instance scan interrogates the instance for configurations that indicate health issues and identifies opportunities to address best practices. The automated test framework additionally makes sure that your instance works as intended after making a change after upgrades or app development. After these tests have been completed and a second quality gate has been passed, the app is now ready for deployment, triggered by Patrick and automatically executed through the app repository onto the company's app store, in which other employees can now use Sarah's app. After the first version of the app has been used by many different employees, Patrick can track various KPIs regarding usage through ServiceNow's user experience analytics. Now that he got a first impression of KPIs which need improvement, he further analyzes Sarah's app through process optimization, which not only discovers new opportunities for improvement, but also gives him direct actions to take to refine it even more. He can use the insights to either make the changes directly with his team or enable Sarah to make the changes by herself. Finally, since this end-to-end process can go through different iterations and versions of the app, Patrick can easily support and scale enterprise low-code development through the tools ServiceNow provides him with. Let's dive into the demo and see how low-code governance looks like with ServiceNow. Sarah starting on the company's portal, which contains various topics and also the option to apply for citizen development by submitting a low-code app idea. We are now presented with the first quality gate of the application development process, in which Sarah has to fill out a form so that the governance team can evaluate the idea based on different metrics such as security, permissions and value. This form can be customized to the company's needs and can also trigger other automations depending on the submitted data. Sarah is now entering the necessary information for her expense app, which she also submits right away. After that, the information is sent to the App Engine Management Center and Patrick, to whom we are now switching. Patrick starts his day in the App Engine Management Center overview within the company's production instance, in which he gets first insights into various KPIs, such as current pending requests for app development, an overview of the requests over time, and more. He also sees all active deployment requests in the pipelines of this company, different instances, and the current adoption metrics for low-code development within App Engine. The company uses dev, test, and prod instances, but a different setup is also supported. The custom apps tell him more about the lifecycle of the applications and also ownership by department. The developer section shows him insights into different metrics about the app developers around the company and also lists them individually. Now, let's head into the requests, in which Patrick can directly find Sarah's request for the expense app. After he opens the request, he sees an overview of the request with all the information on the left side and the activity stream on the right side, which shows all changes related to the requests. To start working on the request, Patrick changes the permission type and jumps into the catalog task, which he closes. Patrick then approves Sarah's request, which will trigger the automated email or Teams message to Sarah with all the information on how to proceed, and also grant all permissions to Sarah to access the company's development instance. Let's switch persona to Sarah, who can now start building her app with App Engine Studio within the company's development instance. She starts on the home screen, on which she has the option to either work on an existing app or create new ones through templates. If she is new, she can use the resources to learn about App Engine Studio and how to create apps. The templates give her a head start for app development she can use to build on with included documentation. She decides to create a new app from scratch, which she can name and also add a picture to easily. She can also add more security roles, which she saves for later versions. Now that the app is ready, Sarah could create a collaboration request to ask for development support, for example in case of pro-code extensions to her low-code app, by including the application development department, which would be sent to Patrick first for approval and further evaluation of who to involve. Since Sarah doesn't need support yet, she starts by clicking on Add Data to create a first table for her app to store all the data. She could import spreadsheets or PDFs or even create an integration, but she decides to create a blank table completely from scratch. She then names the table and also decides on the security permissions for it. After the table has been created, she can now add the first columns, in her case, total cost and short description, which are relevant for the expenses. She goes back to the app overview and starts to add the first experience, which is the app interface to the user. Here she has the option to select from workspaces to mobile experiences and more. She selects Record Producer, which will be the interface to create expense requests for the app user later on. She now enters the tables she created earlier and also the first questions, so that the user can enter the information of the expense, such as the short description and the total costs. After she's done, she also adds a workflow with the easy-to-use email automation option to send out an email to herself every time a new expense request has been created. The email also includes the basic information of the new request. Sarah continues to work on the app by adding more tables, more experiences with workspaces, more logic with the workflow designer, and also new roles in later versions of the apps. Let's preview some of the items. Here we see the record producer, in which the user enters the expense request information on the company's portal. Switching the persona to the approval manager and the expense approval workspace, which gives an overview of all submitted expenses and also the option to approve or reject expenses, all in one interface. Here the manager can, for example, change the state of the expense to approve so that it can be processed further. Now that Sarah built her first version of the app, she is ready to submit the app by clicking on the Submit button on the top right. She sees all the steps the app is going through and is also asked to submit her release notes for this version. The app will now go into the app repository, which Patrick will use to move it through different instances for testing and deployment. Let's see how that looks like again from Patrick's point of view. Patrick starts again in the App Engine Management Center, where he can also see Sarah's collaboration requests. He goes into the deployment request and is presented with a familiar overview of the app with some new fields and information. Patrick also has the option to click on the link to be directed directly to the app within the development instance. From here, he could test the functionalities and dive deeper into the details of the app. Since everything seems fine, Patrick decides to approve the app to be sent to the company's test instance from the development instance. Within the activity stream, Patrick can validate the results of the automated test framework, the deployment, and the instance scan, which in this case indicate no errors. In case Patrick identifies potential risks, he can use the comments section of the activity stream to notify colleagues to follow up on certain items. Patrick decides to approve the app, which moves it from the test instance to the production instance. Since Patrick approved the app, Sarah's expense app is now ready to be used within the company's app store by Sarah's colleagues. After the app has been used more frequently, Patrick gets more insights of the app usage and more within ServiceNow's User Experience Analytics. He can analyze usage in sessions, UI analytics such as page popularity or user engagement, user flows regarding usage, page flows with individual analytics regarding each page, general usage, technical insights into user devices, and much more. Now that Patrick has first insights into the usage, he can drill down into Sarah's app for improvements even more, with process optimization with process mining tools. He gets a summary with different KPIs, improvement opportunities, analysis of variations regarding the expense process, and bottleneck analysis. Based on the insights and the overall process shown by the analyst workbench, Patrick can decide on which steps to improve within the app. This can then be handed over to Sarah or done by the development team. To maintain and control all company apps, Patrick and his team use the App Engine Management Center as main tool for governance, application lifecycle management, and continuous integration and delivery. In addition to that, the ServiceNow platform also contains various features to support the company's enterprise governance model, such as the Application Manager, which provides him with additional insights into change logs and versions. Patrick and his team were able to use all features from the ServiceNow App Engine Management Center and overall platform to build a resilient, secure, and enterprise scalable model for company-wide low-code app development. They managed to reduce app sprawl, break up technology silos, increase app quality, and get insights into the full application lifecycle process. This not only led to cost reductions, but also had a significant impact on the company's digital transformation.